I've been looking forward to this day since we got back into town. You know, we were gone for 9 weeks on the road, and we just, like 3 days before we got home, all the annuals and perennials got stung with a frost here. And a lot of our, weirdly, a lot of our area here around Raleigh, I see places where things were still blooming a week or two later after that. It didn't affect it for some reason. We just got a degree or two colder here in this garden. It knocked everything back. So I was looking forward to getting back in time to film, you know, the annuals well into November, and we just didn't make it. They were all toast when we got back, and then I was ready to take them out, but the birds were like, we had just dozens of birds. Every time you walked out the door, they fly in every direction. So they've had this for about 3 weeks, picking the seed out of here, and that seems to have gone at this point. I'm not seeing anything hop through here. So got in here and took out all the annuals this morning. Again, been really looking forward to that. Our soil prep is out here. We did the wood chips and it's turned into compost, and then in any place we've planted annuals out here in perennials, we've added compost over time. You guys have seen some pine bark. So I can actually take this shovel and just like 2-3 times I can hit the bottom of one of these plants and it dislodges them from the ground. So I'm able to get the roots up On 90% of it, there's be some roots out here that I missed for sure, that something just broke off and it's still below ground. But for the most part, I can just, just do this with the weight, almost with the weight of the shovel, and knock the things out of the ground and just collect them. They're all sitting out here. This is a lot of material. And you would think, you'd be sad about this because of the amount of money that, we spent on this. And, if you came to the open garden, you know how colorful it is out here. I call this clown college design. It doesn't look like it today in the middle of December on a 30-degree morning, but this will be full color in the spring. But everything you see lying here, with the exception of maybe 4, 5, 6 plants, were things that we did from seed, or we were lucky enough to go down to Big Bloomers and get in a 4-pack or a 6-pack, and pretty inexpensively. There are a couple exceptions to that. There are a couple of salvia in here that are annual salvia for us, but they put on such a good show during the season, they're worth buying. And even those at Big Bloomers in a little pot are like $5, so, which is more than the other stuff, but still pretty good price for something that performs like that. I put up a seed video, a seed and amaryllis video, weird combination, the other day, that has all of our seed for next season. So if you're interested in the combos that Steph will be creating out here, a lot of those seed were listed in that. I imagine we'll acquire something else. We actually have dahlias and some other things coming too that'll be part of this plan, but you can go back to that video if you want to see how we did it. We have, something like this right here. We'll uncover some things as we're going. This annual bed here, this little triangular annual bed, had been leaning against these Radianceabelia so much. You can see what they did down here at the bottom. They're not dead down there. They'll flush right back out from it. I'll prune these. These bloom on new wood during the summer, so they get winter pruned. I can prune them now, wouldn't hurt them, but I'll wait until March to do it. I'll cut these back pretty hard and they'll flush back out here at the bottom. But do note, when you're taking out some of your seasonal things, the damage that they can do. I've got an osmanthus on the other side over there that's missing half its side. It was just buried in a lantana and some other things during the growing season. Everything else seems to have survived okay out here. I've got one problem. We're going to pull something out of the ground in just a minute. It's one of our favorite plants, and probably one of you guys' favorite plants. If you followed the channel for a long time, if you're able to grow this plant, is one of yours as well. So in the next planning upcoming content, so this is just clean up for the front garden. All that material that's out there on the street now is going to go to compost pile in the back. These sidewalks are going to get cleaned up, but I'm not going crazy cleaning. I don't care that much. I just need it kind of presentable for now, but this sidewalk's going to come up and be relaid this winter in a more finished way than it originally was. So that's coming up. So I'm not that worried about how that looks for now, other than getting the leaves and the dirt off of it. A couple things are going to get moved around. We've got this front corner up here. Steph, you can come around to this. I usually like to make a design where you can kind of get to everything, where things can be maintained, where people can come in the garden and kind of enjoy them. This corner is completely cut off from any of that. So I would like to figure out some sort of way to either navigate this or something. I don't know yet, but everything back here is just a hodgepodge of crowded material. It's all things we like, but to get in there and enjoy any of them is a little harder than it should be. So I'll figure that out. Usually, when I'm laying out a garden, and I've shown this using the drone over this property, how I originally laid out those back paths back there. So there's nothing in that back garden that you can't pretty easily reach or maintain or enjoy, more importantly, right? But just when you get something that's like 20 feet from here to that pole, and it's just plants piled up, planted in the ground all the way back there. And so I need a little bit of thought on that particular space. And we've got a couple things in here that are kind of placeholders. I won't talk about that now, but sometimes we'll put something in the ground because we just have it. But we know in the future we have something else that we'd like to put in its place. So a couple big changes out here probably. And then this Edgeworthia, we lost, if you're following the channel, we lost a Miss Kim lilac over here last year. One big limb started dying on it, and then the whole thing died really quickly. and now this exact same thing has happened on this Edgeworthia. It was first one branch. I cut it off here, and then I came back. You can see it right here. And then we took our trip and came back, and the whole thing's dead. And you can also see that it's rotted. At first I thought maybe I got voles out here or something. I may actually have phytophthora or something like that. I may have some sort of disease related issue that's done this, because I can't imagine that I would have, from voles chewing on the roots, that I would have gotten this rot down here in this stump. So I don't really know what's going on there. Probably, you know, hopefully other things around here seem to be resistant to whatever is going on here, if it is a disease related issue. So, you know, we'll move on. We'll try something else here and move on. We've got a couple of other plants that can occupy this space, but it's completely rotted. I mean, this is pretty wild here. I don't want to hit the camera stiff. I'm gonna see how it's all intertangled here. But look at this. Isn't that wild? I mean, I'm trying not to hit the camera or do damage to something else while I'm doing this, but look at that. Isn't that wild? I mean, this is a well-established woody shrub, and it is. There is a living piece down at the bottom that's come from the roots, so I'm gonna leave that for now, see what it does in the spring. Cutting back some of the non-native perennials, leaving some of the natives in place just in case they still have some seed on them, or it's a home for something for the winter time. I get the question about pruning things all the time where it's just one crazy limb. And so while this is probably not the best time to be pruning a sweet box in December, it had 2 limbs that were sticking up this tall, and I just went and cut them off. One other right there and one other back here. If you have crazy limbs on things, for the most part, they can just be cut back whenever. New theory on the Edgeworthia as I was digging it out is, it looks like to me it just cracked open and then got water down in it. So that's obviously been cracked for a while right there where it's rotting, and there's still a good amount of that that's alive down at the bottom. So I think it makes me feel a lot better, because I did think it was disease related the way it had died, but I think when it cracked, one piece, that piece died, and then a couple others had died since then. There was one, this piece is actually quite alive, but it had cracked. When the other piece cracked off the bottom, it was barely hanging on, so it was ultimately probably gonna die. But anyway, there's a piece down there alive. We'll see, in the spring I'll let it grow. It's got a big root system, right? So it's hopefully, you know, it'll grow pretty quick if it's on a big root system. So it's still, it looks like winter out here, but we have a lot of pieces that look pretty good through the winter. I think once I get next week, you guys will see bulbs go in the front garden out here. And once I get the bulbs in, I'll get the paths kind of reestablished and cleaned off, and get it looking crispy. And it'll look all intentional for the winter at that point. It still looks like I just have piles of things here and there, because I have piles of things here and there this morning. So anything going on in your garden? It's crazy cold for this early. It's supposed to be, I'm filming this on Friday morning, and Monday morning it's supposed to be 20, and Monday during the day it's supposed to be 34 Fahrenheit, which for a lot of you watching across the country seems, you know, well, that doesn't even seem hardly cold, right? You might be in a place that doesn't come above freezing for a couple months, but for us at this time of December, that's pretty cold. But then it looks like 60s after that. So we'll get all of our bulbs in the ground. I'd like to have already had them in the ground, but we just haven't gotten to it. Other projects going on at the same time. So let us know down below this video what projects you have planned for winter, or you just dreaming about spring and planning for spring, because we're doing all of the above. And we're gonna have a lot of content. Normally in the winter, I'm trying to figure out what we're gonna film, but this winter, there'll be videos like this where we're just rearranging, plugging things in, preparing for spring, making pretty big changes, stonework, on and on. Just so that, you know, a couple things we've envisioned for a while can finally take place here in the garden. Open garden tickets are available over on the website if you're interested in coming to the open garden next year. This place will be turned back into what I call clown college design at that point. Once you see it, you'll know why I call it that, because it's very, very colorful. Thanks for watching.